Ashley, I had
Yes.
lots of things on my bingo card for 2026. I don't know that I had the Vampire Lestat selling juice as one of them.
Oh my God. And
The
Palm of all
the
things.
Palm wonderful
The
ruby
bougiest.
red pomegranate juice.
That is the bougiest of juices. Let us acknowledge that right now. That is an elite juice. It's so tasty. And then it's like $500 for 6 ounces.
Yeah. Well, it comes in like a goblet looking thing too, I thought, which
It's like
was
this little, it's like bulbous. Like it's the
Yes.
bottle's so cute. It's such an aesthetic, you know. Like this is actually a pretty hilariously perfect thing for Lestat to be shilling.
Welcome to the Articulate Coven, the original, unofficial fan podcast and community for Anne Rice's Immortal Universe. The Articulate Coven is Ashley and Joel, but it's supported by listeners just like you. Find out more at articulatecoven.com/join.
We are the Articulate Coven, the original unofficial fan podcast for Anne Rice's Immortal Universe. We're your hosts. I'm Joel.
I'm Ashley.
And we are the Articulate Coven. And I am going to cough again.
Okay, do it. I'm still rolling on like birthday spirit right now. I'm rolling into like, my birthday was yesterday and
Happy birthday!
Thank you. Brett got me a new zoo membership. So I'm actually taking off Monday to go to the zoo. We're gardening tomorrow. My garden is doing so well. I have tomatoes coming out of my ass. And we've got blackberries all around our fucking yard.
I don't garden much, but I don't think that's where tomatoes are supposed to be planted, Ashley.
Well,
I think
let me tell
you'll find.
I'm finding great success with them.
Where are you going to put the stake?
We've got to get bigger cages. Our plant's gotten so big. It's very exciting. Anyway, I'm like a cocktail in, though. Full disclosure, I'm a cocktail in because it's my birthday weekend.
Listen, this episode, I think, deserves a cocktail or two, perhaps.
Christ, it does.
Heavy. Okay, so I watched this episode on my own because the timing was weird this week. My eldest son, Judah, that's been watching it with me, he is graduating. Today was his last day of school, basically. Yeah, graduation's still like 2 weeks away, but they did an academic signing this morning, and then they did like awards day. Oh, and here was a cool thing. All the seniors put on their hats and their cords and stoles or whatever, and they walk through the elementary school and high five all the elementary kids.
Like,
and then they go,
one day this will be you.
Right. And then they go hang out in the library for a little while. They have cake and punch, and they get to look at yearbooks that are all opened to their year as they went through the school. So if you went, and not all of the kids obviously went to the elementary school, but most of these kids did. It's a small town. So like Judah, for instance, was in every one of those yearbooks. And so like we got to walk around. His partner, it was in every one of those yearbooks with him too. So it was fun. Like there's a couple of the class pictures where they're standing next to each other and stuff, you know? Yeah. So anyway, it's pretty amazing. And so all of that happened today. So he's been very busy, but he gets done with that day. And I'm like, hey, look, you and I still got to watch the interview. So I had taken most of my notes because I wanted to really focus and watch and pay attention to his reactions.
Watch it. Yeah.
Yes.
Watch it. This is.
And man, this is, I mean, genuinely, we've talked about it so much before. This show deserves more flowers than it has gotten. It basically, I think it won one award for season 2 in anything, and I think that was a technical award. This show got zero notice for whatever reason. I know I've seen people say, well, you know they're going to start getting awards now that a white man's at the center. And yes, honestly, racism is probably part of it. You had 2 black leads. And it was like, okay, that's easy to overlook for a lot of the old geezers that are voting on these things in the various,
or just like,
academies.
Don't even bother to give it a watch because it's like, oh, I don't see myself in that. Like, I can't, it's not reflective of me. So I won't be interested in that.
I think that part of it, though, that I won't even give it a watch. I think that comes less from racism, honestly, and more from genre. This genre, period, is overlooked and disdained in all of the various award shows. The years when it breaks through, it's like Frankenstein got 3 or 4 nominations, I think, for instance.
You're right,
And
but we're talking all like costuming and production design, and like.
And that movie is full of awards darlings. The awards likes Oscar Isaacs. They really like Guillermo del Toro, for instance, right? And they
I don't think
to
Guillermo
throw
gets as
Netflix
much love as he should, but
no,
I do,
but this
because
was
he's more in the horror genre. That's where he plays.
this was safe. You could give this movie nods because they weren't going to give him like best director. They weren't going to give it best picture, et cetera, et cetera. Not really, anyway. So we're going to throw in bones in these categories, and we'll get to award Guillermo's. We'll get to award his work, because he's one of our guys. Oscar Isaac sort of the same way, and yet this. I don't know. Anyway, when you take on monsters, as a general rule, you just got to understand the awards it's not going to be in your favor.
Well,
that's just the way that
it works. To
be
honest, that's not even what the fucking point is for this crew that's making this show, I don't think. You know what I mean? Like,
they're
right. Because they're just so focused on nailing it. And this episode is such a really great example of it. It's also a really great example of how monstrous these characters are on so many different levels, and Santiago even calls it out, like we're monsters, this is what, this is one of my favorite parts of the book. It was so heartbreaking and so horrifying for me, especially picturing Claudia as so tiny, like, it was really rough.
Okay. If for some reason to me in the book, it almost feels like more of a betrayal. First of all, because it seems the way that it plays out in the book, the Coven knows everything before they ever get there. Basically, they're toying with Claudia and Louis the whole time. Whereas in this, it's almost like they've discovered the mystery along the way. And also, it seems worse because the performance of the trial and it's not played out the same. It's not to this degree, but the performance of the fact that they are trying them for anything, doing anything other than just murdering these two people, justifying it with legality or rules or anything at all. That's only for the end group in the book. Whereas here they're doing it for the audience, which is like, I don't know, it somehow removes it. Well, yes, it does bring, and we'll talk about that in a minute. For me, it very much made me feel like I'm watching a lynching the whole time. We'll get to that word. But anyway, it's just different in the book, folks. So listen, book purists, if you, for some reason, you keep watching our stuff anyway and listening to our stuff anyway, but you don't watch this show, go watch this show. They do different things, yes, but they are interesting, valuable things. If you have loved the works of Anne Rice, just imagine that somebody else, for whatever reason, got to tell a story incredibly royalty unfriendly like hers. Right? Just write it off like it's fan fiction, genuinely, and then watch it anyway, because it's the best fan fiction you've ever fucking imagined. It's so good. This show is so good.
This episode is compelling from start to finish, and every time I watch it, I hear new things in it. I hear things like at one point today when I was watching it, I had to take my headphones out because I thought I was hearing something like outside of like my head, like outside of what I was watching. I thought it was like something like external happening, and I was like, I yanked those headphones out of my ears really quick because I was like, did someone yell? And then literally it's silent. Like, I work in IT, so like I take my headphone out, it's like silent. There's no noise at all except like typing. And I was like, was that in my, oh shit. And then I'm like, back it up a little bit so I can listen to all of it. And it's just, and I highly recommend, if you've not watched this particular episode with headphones in your ears, please do yourself that treat, because it is wild. All of the overlapping dialogue, the shit that Santiago is saying to Madeline, like to keep her in check, to keep her in his control. It's just crazy. It's so fucking good.
Yeah. Abducted, overwhelmed, outnumbered. Armand sold you out. I'm talking now. Okay, you
Oh.
want to talk about you heard things that you hadn't heard before. I heard this in a different way. Okay,
Mhm.
I heard Louis just asserting himself over Daniel's presumption. Daniel, and previously I'd been like, oh, okay, Daniel thinks he and Louis are sort of, trauma bonded now because
Mhm.
they have uncovered this revelation. And yet here's Louis saying, no, there's three of us in this discussion now and three
Mhm.
real individuals. But what I heard this time is Louis genuinely asserting his individualism. I'm talking now. This is not
Yeah.
Armand's story. This is
Yeah.
not whatever you think this is. Stop. I'm figuring this out as I go here too. And we
Yeah.
see that play out through the whole episode. I pointed out to Judah specifically the brilliance of the rewrite on the fight that comes after the rewrite on Claudia's birth, where we have Louis validate. That is how it happened. I didn't think so at the time, but yeah. So the first time we genuinely get a rewrite, we have modern day Louis telling Daniel, telling us, the audience, yes, Lestat was telling the truth there, that I had misremembered. I had told my story incorrectly. He was telling the truth, even here at my trial, quote unquote.
Mhm.
And then Louis does not exactly validate the changes to the fight,
No, which I
but
think
he
is important.
doesn't. But he doesn't tell Daniel that those things didn't happen, right? He does
No.
not. So I'm saying for the audience, what we have is the establishment that Lestat is trying to paint a true picture, honestly, for whatever reason. And that's Judah was confused. He's like, what is the motive here? It's like, did he show up to play along, or was this his goal all along? Is to sort of throw their script off? Like, what is the point of here? It's such a
Yeah.
fascinating thing, whether you're a heavy book reader or whether you're coming to this story fresh.
Yeah, it
The
is.
mystery of this trial is brilliant.
And the stakes are clearly so high, like, it's just
Yeah.
intense. It's the intensity is in it from Jump Street. But yeah, see, here's the thing I think about Lestat's version of the fight and Louis not acknowledging that as being the true version, because I don't think it's the true version either. I think he's trying to make himself. It's like when you get into a fight, you always, especially with a partner, like, you wanna downplay your role and the intensity of it, like, especially if you're telling someone else about, like, a mutual friend that, like, "Oh, we had it out," like, it's just like everyone downplays their own, like, responsibility in conflict. And I think that that's definitely him doing that. And the truth of that fucking fight is somewhere in between.
Boy, it does seem, based on the most recent trailer, that we might get a third take on that. So,
Mhm.
here we go, I guess.
Yeah. I truly think that, because I don't think that is not, that version of Lestat is not him. Like, that's not, like, he was so like, I don't want to fight. Like, fuck you. You fight. You love to fight. What are we talking about here? Like, it rung very untrue to him for me.
Okay, you talk about watching the show wearing headphones, Ashley. The ankle tendon cuts, man. Some of the best
Ugh.
effects work. The makeup is fantastic. The way the actors are playing the injuries is just amazing, physical work. But the sound effects, when we hear them move,
Ugh.
holy, yeah, it's so much. It's so much.
Yeah, it's
It's
visceral.
so much.
It's very, very visceral. Ugh.
Okay. When Lestat shows up, and first of all, I love that it hadn't occurred to me really, I think, the last time, but he comes in and effectively gives like an SNL monologue. It's great to be back in New York.
Love what you done with the
Band,
place.
the
Actually, I
band has
don't.
really improved since last time. you know,
Lord. Yeah, I like the old
has
place
everybody
better.
seen my latest movie?
Have you heard my new single?
Yeah. But once he sits down and begins his little tale of woe, this was the first real, it had just been heavy until then, and Judah and I had just been sitting with it. But when he says, "Love has always been hard for me," Judah yells, "Oh, boo, boo."
Go to therapy.
It's like, you just wait.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I do love, though, the assertion from Santiago is Nicky went mad and died by his own hand. And, well, with a little help from others.
Yes.
Okay.
Interesting mention of hands as well.
Yeah, right. Daniel gives a little point and nod to Armand here, and he's like, so why were you just hanging around watching the show, again,
which was the birth of 1,000 perfect memes, which was the Cheeto in the door, like in the door lock.
Yes.
When this episode first was happening, that was the funniest shit. It was like, I couldn't get out. I was being held captive by this.
Well, I mean, okay, you and I talked about it in the very first episode. I suppose it is true that we have not been given a direct explanation of how strong or how old Sam is, right?
No.
We haven't really been given any idea of how old or strong anybody else is, other than Claudia very specifically says that Santiago is the youngest of the Coven and also the strongest, which is why she assumed that Armand made him. Okay. The triangulation on that is we're not without the bounds of reason to say probably overall is a fairly weak Coven compared to Armand, definitely.
Well, and
so again, the idea
Armand
that even all of
them any of them, like Armand hasn't made
has
a vampire.
never made a vampire. So, exactly. Like, that's what we know now.
We're not getting any of that good blood in there, really,
Yeah, and so anyway, I think even from just the random viewer, we're supposed to expect, well, that seems a little fishy. And Judah was also, they were like, oh, well, they would kill me if I didn't do it. Judah, it was a less enthusiastic, but still boo-hoo for that one too. Very skeptical of that. All right. So Lestat says sometime in the early 1800s, he goes into the ground. And we know it's the early 1800s because he was there for 100 years and he comes out in 1908. He does not meet Louis until like 1914, I think, right? It's sometime in the early 1910s. It's after 1910, though, which means that there's a few years there in between once he rises and before he actually goes to New Orleans. So I wonder...
That has to be when we meet Marius, right?
I mean, maybe then, or did he not go into the ground quite so early? Did he go into the ground after he met Marius, for instance, in this universe? And we're going to see it sooner rather than later. But I also think there leaves wiggle room, both sides, I think, for these writers to come in and say, okay, there's a few adventures that you don't know about, and here's where we're going to shoehorn in some connections to random book characters, or maybe even Killer comes into there somehow. Not that Lestat made Killer. I don't think that's the case. But there could be some connection to the vampire that made Killer, for instance. Anyway, what if Killer was made by the same vampire that made Santiago? Or if Killer was made by Santino or something like that, and that's how we get back around to grievances. Blood feuds all the way down, baby. That's what I'm here for.
For millennia.
Okay. The way that Lestat reads their courtship, genuinely the exact opposite of how Louis read it to Daniel at the beginning of season 1. It's just funny on the screen, first of all, but Judah turns around like, this sounds like bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when Lestat said that Louis said, come to me, Judah goes, okay. Okay.
You motherfucker, you made a whole record a record with your girlfriend singing. How dare you?
He basically did the Leonardo DiCaprio pointing at the screen meme. Like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
That's
Which is like, this is the shit that makes me say that's why I think he's lying about the fight.
Okay. That connecting those two dots is very fair. So I want to defend Lestat earlier, but you know what? The way you laid that out, actually, maybe it was me.
You are my favorite apologist.
Okay, where lies their disgust now? Judah and I both quite enjoyed the trip to the balcony for the bigot comeuppance.
It's so good. It's so good.
Okay.
You know, and I love that they did that because they could have just that could have been an easy thing to leave on the cutting room floor and it wouldn't have even mattered. But I love that move, frankly.
Here's what else it does though too, because the first half of this episode is so heavy. The second half of this episode is so heavy. The end of this, I mean, we've talked about downer endings before, but this is, I mean, it's hard to get worse than this. It's not a cliffhanger. There's no hang. It's just like, yep, all of that happened. That happened. How do you enjoy it? Did you enjoy it? We all shuffle out of the theater now. Congratulations. You paid for this. I mean, we did in our case. We were like, oh, shit, AMC Plus.
Yeah,
okay.
I actually do pay for this.
But
oh, well.
Since that's going to be the case, the MCU gets shit all the time for its quips and jokes, right? But they use the quips as a release valve. Things are falling apart. Somebody's dead. The team may not save the universe this time, right? And now I'm going to make a joke about your outfit or whatever, right? I'm going to hang a lamppost on these silly things.
America's ass.
Yes, it's America's ass or whatever, right? We need the release valve. This is a release valve for us, an emotional release valve without taking away the tension. It's scary when he's in the balcony all of a sudden. And then you're like, are his buddies going to beat him to death in the alleyway? Probably, or at least beat the shit out of him, right? Leave him very, very injured, perhaps permanently disabled in some fashion.
Well, and
this is not going to go well for that dude.
It also serves to put the audience themselves off a bit too, because like, I'm sure you always have that question in your mind if you've been going to this theater a lot, like, maybe that is fucking real. I don't know. Maybe they're fucking real. Like, I guarantee you, those folks that have dressed up in costume and coming get drunk at the bar down the street and talk about how they think those are real vampires.
Well, okay, when they give Madeline an opportunity to join the Coven, the whole audience screams, pick me, pick me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So no, I think you're right. I think there's some of them that go back and forth on whether or not this is all for real. And in that moment are like, holy shit, it is. And it's like, oh, now we're on the wrong side of the canyon, right?
Yeah.
You're like, never mind. I don't like hiking anymore.
Right.
Right. But also it is literally, it showcases that the audience, it's Lestat's equivalent of let he without sin cast the first stone, right? Like this audience is sitting there condemning Madeline and Claudia and Louis, and he comes into the audience and literally picks out the worst thing from this guy's mind, basically, and lays it bare for the audience. And yes, the audience is all thinking, well, I'm not a deserter, and fuck that guy.
But they're probably thinking about whatever fucked up thing they've done that's sitting in their head for the last
I cheated on my wife,
years.
Or I stole money from my mother, or I, blah, 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 whatever. Yeah, everybody's got a skeleton, something that they're a little ashamed of or would do again differently, etc., or wouldn't want known. Just wouldn't want known.
Yeah.
Everybody's got a secret shame, right? And he's there to remind you all of it.
Yeah.
Like
and
Atlantis.
And he's going to do it very sexily, too.
Oh, Allie, and then he prances back to the stage, like with a reveal, almost like he's a fucking magician. He's Houdini'd back to the ground.
He's just beyond perfection in this role. I know I say that. We say it every fucking time we talk, but I can't believe he's this good. You know what I mean? Like, Tom Cruise was fine. Tom Cruise was fine. Stuart Townsend was not great. Tom Cruise was fine. This is amazing. And he just captures all of the depth of this fucking scoundrel on so many levels and keeps him lovable and keeps him dangerous and keeps him interesting. Oh, I just love it. It makes me so happy.
There is definitely something about the fact that Sam Reed, the actor, knows and understands this character, has loved this character since he was young. But there are lots of fans of this character. There are lots of people who have created wonderful cosplays over the years of this character. I do not think that 1 in 10,000 of them could have pulled off the level of acting that Sam is capable of to begin with, and then joined with the love and admiration that he has for this and the understanding that he has for this character. I think the alchemy that creates is genuinely magic.
100%.
Okay. Let's talk a little bit about the lynching of it all. Okay, so I think this is obviously meant to engender those sorts of feelings. It's meant to mimic that sort of historic occurrence. Okay, Madeline's presence this time, I thought specifically, she's so pale of skin, the red hair, all of this stuff. The fact that we've already watched her lynched once effectively by the mob over her German sympathy, that brings in the burnings of witches to me, right? So we've got these two people of color and a witch on stage ready to get pelted by the audience and doused for their sins.
The way that also, I think there's something to be said for the way that Santiago manages to make Madeline such a non-player in this is another piece of it too. Like, I mean, she's even going to get a chance to save her own life at the end of it, but then are you the kind of person that's associating with these types of people? And in that case, you deserve what you get.
I don't know that I had noticed it before, but when he finally does call her for her crimes, he says, "Rice." When he tells her he says to Claudia, "Rise," and to Louis, "Rise," he says to her, "Rice." I think he very specifically, I don't know that anybody in that crowd knew Madeline's story in any fashion, but they did know lots of German sympathizers and how we handled them, right? Yeah, I think he's doing that on purpose too there. Yeah. First of all, we can't bring her in because she is a white woman. She's a Parisian herself. Somebody might see themselves in this trial and suddenly have sympathy. So you're right on that. They kept her out of it altogether.
It's just in her mind the whole time. She barely speaks. She's so vacant and so like it actually really creeped me out a lot more on this watch, that she was so like she didn't even know what was happening to them. Like she wakes up at one point and she's like, Are we on trial?
Are we on trial? that is such a horrible line. The way it's delivered is so, oh man, that's heartbreaking. You're right. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. That all really bothered me this time a lot. But then like, and doing, it's just, I'm enamored with his performance, but anytime she starts to come out of it, starts to kind of fight against him, he's right there, right next to her, speaking to her very quietly.
You could putting her back in her chair. Don't even worry about it.
Yeah. Whispering sweet nothings to her to keep her in her place.
Okay. Great. There's a moment where Armand interjects right about here, and he's talking about how Lestat took all the worst moments of Louis's life and reshaped them and bent them into a Lestat-shaped effigy. Okay. Every accusation is an admission. Every fucking one. Okay, here's one. For instance, for the last, I don't know, 10, 15 years or so, we've been hearing a drumbeat from the Republican Party in this country about rigged elections. Today, as I am recording with you, my governor has canceled our primary elections for representatives. Now, if the news media is reporting canceled elections, and I am desperate to make a good video and try to make sure that Louisianans know that there's still an election going on. We got to vote for Senate. We got to vote for amendments. There's a lot of down ballot races. It's representatives is all that's being affected currently. And there are so many legal ins and outs. So many different people are suing the state of Louisiana right now.
You got to
trying
vote
to get this fixed
so that it counts when they go and count them, because they're going to
Governor
have
Landry,
to, because this is fucking crazy.
Yes, exactly. Governor Landry was elected, by the way, with 17% turnout. 17% of Louisiana's population showed up and decided that we got this 2-bit, hackneyed, Huey P. Long wannabe motherfucker, except Huey at least believed in grifting for the little man directly.
Yeah.
And some of that chaff that he was saving for himself got shifted down onto the table. Every man a king. Every man going to be a fucking pauper here in Louisiana if we don't get this hack and the rest of them out of office.
It's
I
insane.
digress, except to say, fuck your boyfriend, I guess. I don't know. No, but like,
well, what's so interesting is that they like Louis
fuck
is just
Armand.
attracting. He's like attracting the same type of man. Armand, like, yeah, I also think Lestat did a bit of that. I think Armand does that. I think they both fucking do that. And why is Louis like go to therapy, figure out why you're attracted to this type of guy, Louis.
Why do you want to burn down your life every 70
keeps
years
happening
or so,
to you,
Louis?
you might be the common denominator.
Okay, when when Lestat is going on and on about how it's been, for 7 years, your partner denies your body, blah, 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 whatever. And the crowd is cheering the justification for Antoinette's creation,
Yeah.
Judah goes, oh my God, oh, gross. He's like, you damn you, Lestat, and damn all of you in the audience. Okay, just because you can't get nookie, you gotta go not just cheat, but create a whole new vampire. Fuck you. I mean, pretty much. And I do hear where it's coming from on that.
Also with the person that's already caused a lot of drama in your relationship to begin with. And you cut off her fucking finger.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Oh, the way they drew Antoinette, by the way, in the films, I had sort of forgotten, honestly. She looks like Ophelia every time, laid out with her flowers behind her head.
So dramatic.
The time they get her the most realistic is when she's burning in the furnace. Like, that's the closest what she actually looked like when she was burning,
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
This is not an Ophelia situation.
There is the most real moment from Lestat, to me, in this episode anyway, comes after they're describing the fight and the fall. And Santiago is giving his pitch, and Lestat says, I am burdened with my maker's temper, and then he mumbles under his breath, and I don't know if I'd caught it before, a wolf congratulated for not killing her pups. Okay, I think that's the moment where he realized, he's already earlier though said, I made Claudia, and if you're going to sentence them, you've got to sentence me for those same crimes. I broke the second law. So I don't think he's so gotten this deep without any feelings for Louis or any desire to get Louis out of this or save Claudia or whatever. I don't think this is the moment where his heart breaks, but I do think it is the moment where whatever performance he's putting on has broken, and he is being truthful here. Yeah, the facade is gone. When he turns and apologizes, when he tells Louis, I'll always remember what I did to you and feel sorry for it or whatever. Like, I think that's true.
Yeah, I do too.
I think that's real.
I think there's a couple of moments, a few moments where you see like, almost, or I think it's more like you're seeing his reaction to what's going on around him and realizing that he has no control over the situation like he thought he was going to, and that Santiago is running this game, and come hell or high water, unless somebody makes a big move, it's going to go exactly the way Santiago wants it to.
Okay. In a minute, I'm going to talk about Russell Brand. And so I want to lay this foundation first.
God,
Here's why we can have a third season that is all about Lestat, even though Lestat, we know, is not a good dude. This line. I did it to hurt him, and it did hurt him. And afterward, he was a broken thing. I saw because I broke him. Santiago gives him one more out. Oh yeah, it's a mortal fall for a human, but
Right.
it's just a hard fall for a vampire, right?
It's like tripping.
He was fine. He was fine.
He was not
you
fine.
knew he would be fine, and he was fine. And Lestat says he was not fine. I did it to hurt him, and it did hurt him. He was a broken thing. Okay. To get redemption, to get grace and forgiveness and reacceptance to the partnership, the relationship, the tribe, whatever, you have to admit and understand the wrongdoing. This is where and we're going to have the exact opposite in just a second, we're going to talk about, but this is where you cannot, people forget that step somehow, right? Like there's a 13-step program out there for you that makes all of this very clear. You have to make the amends. You have to make the amends.
12 steps, and one of them is
12
make
steps.
amends.
Sorry, there you go. 13 steps. What's the 13th step? That's 13 reasons. That's a totally different thing.
It's a totally different thing, Joel.
Oh, goodness.
Your 13th step is getting a nice coffin with your vampire sugar daddy. That's what we can all look forward to. But yeah, no, it's a huge part of life and relationships. And if you want to truly move on and move past something, making amends is such a huge piece of it,
When Claudia stands up, Judah goes, man, Claudia hates Lestat, because you see on her face how much pain she's in to do this. We know she's being mind controlled and they're trying to shut her down, and she just with sheer will is like, I'm gonna tell this particular motherfucker, I'm gonna tell him off one more time before we're done. One more time. Actually.
One more time, because this is all your fucking fault.
Okay. She says, can I cry and say that I'm sorry too? You gonna accept my apology? Okay. First of all, it's a great moment because she is calling. I mean, yes, this is the first step from Lestat, is admitting that he did wrong, et cetera, et cetera. But no, that is not the end of things. You can't sit in acceptance now. You're not done yet, sir. And Claudia is saying that.
He sure also not apologized to fucking Claudia for anything.
For instance, but the reason I mentioned Russell Brand specifically is like, I can't even remember what he's in court for, but recently he went to, I think it's like sexual assault or something, right?
Assault, harassment. Yeah, all kinds.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he's in
court
over
these. So
he's in court over these sexual assault charges, and he carries a Bible with him under his arm to court. He's on, I think it's Piers Morgan's show in the UK the other day, and Piers calls him. He's like, "Hey, you carried a Bible? Is that the Bible?" "Yes, this is the very one." And he says, what was the verse particularly that you were thinking of or sort of meditating on while you were going through that? And Russell rifled. Have you seen this video? He rifles through the Bible for like 2 minutes. Cannot find a verse. Cannot even find a verse that he could claim was the particular verse that he was thinking of. Finally finds one that he does read, but he reads that one badly. He never says 2 Corinthians or holds the thing upside down like Donald Trump did, but it's the equivalent of that for someone who would have the audacity to carry it with him to court like, well, I needed it for my solace. This man has not opened that Bible
sympathy.
before.
Charlatans looking for sympathy. Here's what I don't have. Sympathy for rapists. Go fuck yourself.
All these people trying to do their redemption tour. Kevin Spacey trying to come out of the penalty box. It's the same sort of thing. I'm like, okay, but first you have to say, I fucked it all up, didn't I? I'm human like you. And listen, I do think there is such a thing as a second chance. Robert Downey Jr., I think, is a pretty good fucking example.
Yeah,
he had way more
100%.
than 2. Right?
Yeah.
But Robert Downey Jr. didn't say, at least in the end, he didn't say, hey, it was my manager. I was with a bad manager.
He was like,
and an
I
agent.
was in active addiction. That's how I ended up in a kid's bathroom,
Not
bedroom
even
in the
was.
middle of the night.
Not even was. He'll tell you, I am an addict. I am an alcoholic. I have a substance problem and will have the rest of my life. I got to work on it. Got to work on me. I've been doing better. Right? Like that's
even when you're sober, you still are an alcoholic. You still are a drug addict. You still are those things. You were just in sobriety at that time, like it's like your cancer's in remission.
Yes,
because it's a fucking disease,
has to turn the apology into a, hey, I am a self-centered, neurodivergent, crazy motherfucker who takes weird chances and does not center other people's feelings as a rule. Sorry about that. Also, I got a hot temper and a short fuse. My bad. I'm working on it. I'm working on me. I know it's an ongoing problem. When I hear you and I want to react, I'm going to not is what I'm going to do. I'm going to think about it. I'm going to think about how I feel. I might try to process it with you out loud. He's not there yet, but I'm saying like that's the next step, right? Like that's not, anyway, what I'm saying is these men, and it's men, by the way. You notice we're not talking about women trying to do these redemption tours, although I think some of them lately, maybe in the media, might need to take one eventually. Oh, I got one in particular I'm thinking of. I won't get into that. But these fucking men, they want to get the redemption tour without having gone through the penance. You're supposed to confess, motherfucker. Do some Hail Marys and Our Fathers and whatnot.
Yeah. If I don't hear an Our Father or two, fuck you. I'm just kidding. I don't need to hear an Our Father. But a genuine apology goes for miles, friends.
Yes. You got to understand what you've done. You've got to understand it, and you've got to admit that shit. Is my point.
And
before we can talk about grace.
Also change that behavior.
That's what I'm saying.
Because if you apologize and then continue to do it, you're still an asshole.
Man. Okay. Best line maybe in the whole show from Claudia, and there's so many. One more round in the stormy romance of you two. Never been about me. I was just a roof shingle blew over your house.
She's gonna fucking die because of these two not being able to fucking work their shit out. Got nothing to do with her, really.
Claudia is my coven. The most beautiful moment that Madeline has in the whole show.
It's such a gift to Claudia, too.
It is a gift in that final moment to have found home.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
To have been chosen finally. No one ever picks me. To have been chosen. And she had a chance to fucking get out of there and live, and she still would rather die with Claudia than live with these assholes.
Okay, we've talked previously about how I think that the Nazi sympathizer storyline is sort of justified because it means that Madeline doesn't have clean hands. Nobody in this show has clean hands, right? Everybody's capable of redemption. Nobody has clean hands, though. However, this moment is the other moment I think why that storyline's justified and makes perfect sense in retrospect, was a good choice. Madeline, not book Madeline, TV Madeline, has already been lynched. That mob in the streets didn't kill her, but they could have. There was no reason for her to believe they weren't going to when they shaved her head, when they tortured and humiliated her. those two men and the woman that broke into her shop and were going to sexually assault her were going to kill her when that was over. She was going to die for her crimes of German sympathy, right? Madeline is a woman who has already faced this. So when she's given the chance to get out of it, and she steps to the front of the stage and announces her name with pride, and then chooses Claudia and death over the Coven and life, that makes sense for the storyline that they've given her, right? This is a woman who has already faced death, made hard choices, chosen her own way
This bitch is
without the
probably
pressure of the crowd.
tired too. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
Christ.
yes. yeah, 100%. Book Madeline is literally what we joke about in the episode where they make Madeline. Louis finds out that she's had this person in her past that died, and she's like, is Claudia the replacement? That is Book Madeline. That's literally Book Madeline's a young mother, had a child die basically, right after birth, and Claudia is her replacement for her little doll of a child. She'll have an eternal child and to a China doll to love and take care of. That Madeline is weak. That Madeline chooses Claudia out of selfishness.
This Madeline is mentally unwell.
Yes, that's true too. That's absolutely. This Madeline is maybe morally questionable, but she is bold and chooses Claudia out of love and purpose.
She has autonomy, and that's something that's very clear about this Madeline. She's got a lot of personal autonomy, and she isn't afraid to do what's best for her for survival and whatever, which is also why it's pretty fucking cool that she doesn't make the choice for survival, that she makes the choice to let go and be with Claudia. It's fucking gorgeous.
All right. I said Claudia's already said her best line in my opinion, but this one's so fucking good too. You, sir, in the balcony with the tall hat.
Oh, God. Can you?
Will you kindly remove your hat?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much. First of all, why? She's already cursed the audience. She's already cursed Armand. She's cursed the Coven. She's cursed Lestat, et cetera, right? She's been yelling this whole trial. So kind. Would you kindly remove your hat? Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
Peacefully, calmly, slowly. Then, now I know all your faces.
Yep. It's my favorite part of this entire episode. I love it so much because it is that vengeful, angry little snip of Claudia that stays. You know what I mean? That seems to be the little bit of Claudia that lingers behind that we'll run into again and again.
Okay. I said earlier, he says rise for Madeline, and he doesn't say that for Claudia and Louis. He tells Claudia to rise for her sentence. He doesn't even tell Louis to rise, though. He just goes straight to sentencing for Louis. Santiago does. When the crowd can't say... He
wants that guy dead. That's the whole fucking point for him. He doesn't fucking... Yes. I don't even think he cares about killing Claudia. He just wants fucking Louis done and Armand cowed.
Yes. That's it, exactly. He wants Armand cowed. That's the key. That's the most important thing. But when the audience can't say death, they start choking on it. They can't say the word death. Judah from his side of the couch yells, "What? Lestat? Don't hurt my baby." And then was so confused when Lestat looks confused when we cut to him. And then he goes, "Oh,
wait a minute.
Is it Armand? It's interesting that he might jump to the conclusion that it was Lestat that was doing that. Let's put a pin in that one."
Yeah, we'll just save that for later.
It took all my strength. You saved Louis, but not her. I could not prevent it. It's the title of our episode. Armand's line here.
Lifted straight from the book.
Yes. Okay, it's Louis that says it, though, in the book, though, correct? Mm-hmm. Because Armand is not in the interview at all.
No.
Armand's not in the interview. He's not involved in the interview in the book.
Who says? Well,
it's got to be Louis. It's got to be Louis that says, "I could not prevent it." Meaning, because they had locked him up, or they had locked him away already in the book. They had sealed him away in
I
his
thought it
tomb.
was, for some reason, I thought Armand said it to him.
Maybe you might be right afterwards. Maybe you're right afterwards when Armand
because he's
comes
like,
to
"Where's
collect it.
Claudia? What happened?" And he's
Yeah.
like, "I
Good,
could not
maybe
prevent
so.
it." But I mean, this is, I've read a lot of books since the last time I read this one.
Okay. We've talked earlier about the perversion, the upending of Louis's read on Louis and Lestat's early relationship to Lestat's read on Louis and Lestat's early relationship. They do it here with Santiago's warning for the audience. In the regular show, he says, everything you're about to see is real and you are culpable and I love you for it. And this, he says, everything you're about to see is fake. And when you go home at night, none of it was your fault, and you can remember that, and I despise you for it, before he takes up into the clouds. First of all, I tend to think that he's hypnotizing them a little bit. He's mesmerizing the audience a little bit there, so that literally it won't seem quite as real as it was actually in the moment on stage,
because
right?
it's going to be oh so real that she's fucking burning in front of you.
You're right. Yes.
Like when her hand crumples up and floats away as ash. I'm like, oh God.
Man, I know we talked about it the first time we watched this episode, but again, the makeup effects on her and the behind the scenes, if you watch the insider on the episode, they show a few of the levels where Delaney is being variously shrouded in prosthetics as they get deeper and deeper into that. But
so well
I mean,
done.
it was a hell of a thing. I love how much agency they've given, as we've talked about, to the character of Madeline, but the fact that their placement for the burning mirrors in reverse the placement for the bodies in the 94 movie, and also the way it's described in the book. Madeline is clutching, obviously, the small
Claudia.
form of Claudia, and here we have Claudia holding Madeline.
Yeah.
I thought it was brilliant. The fact that Madeline goes first, I think, is excellent.
Yeah. And it's science.
Yeah, it would make sense. Exactly. It would make sense.
It's vampire science.
Yeah, it's vampire magic, at least. Man, okay. Santiago collecting the dress from the ashes as we're left on this empty theater. And we said this already, but we're supposed to feel terrible for having watched this. We're watching these people filter out of the theater, and it's like, did you enjoy the show, Mrs. Lincoln?
Yeah, you watch the snuff film.
Yeah. I mean, that's what it was. That audience watched it, but so did we. Look at you. Okay. Was it good? Was this worth it? Is this fun? Is this entertainment? Exactly.
Ooh.
It is delicious. It is delicious in its own way. Super excited to get to the end of this thing with you all, because the end is just another beginning, Ashley.
It is. Oh my God, we are getting so close, you guys. So close.
Okay, quick schedule update. So here's what we're going to do. Next week, we do the finale. The week after that, my baby boy graduates high school, and we'll talk about the 94 film and this whole series with Judah
I'm
same
so
week that he
excited.
graduates. So it's going to be lots of fun. And then after that, you and I are going to talk about the 90s miniseries adaptation of Pride and Prejudice, starring our Gabrielle, Jennifer Ely. And then right before the premiere of season 3, now called The Vampire Lestat, we'll do our feedback and our prognostication episode, what we expect to see in season 3, what you expect to see in season 3. So there you go. Now you got the schedule laid out for you. Then we'll be week to week. What are we going to get? 7? I think we think it's going to be 7, maybe 8 episodes. Okay.
7.
Boo. They better give me 8
it's
next year when they do part 2.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
All right. Until the next time we talk to you, we have been your hosts. You can find more all the time, I should say, at articulatecoven.com/join. Also, go to articulatecoven.com/events, and you can get access to our 2026 Convergence tickets in New Orleans for Halloween. Maybe you can't make it to New York. The tickets are cheaper to New Orleans. I will tell you that.
Right. Also, everyone's starting to book their hotels and things. It's getting very exciting.
It's going to be fun.
A couple people
We're gonna
bought
be
plane
live.
tickets this past week. Like
Yes.
it's happening.
To be fair to them, and I felt so bad afterwards, several people did book accommodations of various sorts to our event, and then almost immediately AMC's like, hey, do y'all want to go see the Vampire Lestat? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Sam will probably not be joining us in New Orleans. We will talk a lot about him in New Orleans. How about that?
Yes, we will. We will.
All right. Until the next time. Oh, I didn't even mention it. By the time this episode goes up, we'll have a whole new website. Go tell me what you think about the new site. I redesigned the website.
Look at my bio. Cool. Holy fucking shit,
yes.
Joel.
No, it's all right. You got time to do it, but you're going to send me that. We'll post this. By the time the episode goes up, it'll be good. But that's ready and rock and rolling. It's a cool looking thing, and all the stuff's connected there, so you can find us in every way. ArticulateCoven.com. Until next week. Yes, we do. We do indeed. We have been your hosts. I'm Joel.
I'm Ashley.
And we are the Articulate Coven.
Thank you for sharing this time with the Articulate Coven. Support the show as either a free or paid member at articulatecoven.com/join. You can also find us on YouTube, Spotify, and wherever you listen to podcasts. Find more from the Coven with our sister show, Flan Again, covering the works of Mike Flanagan.